Morning. Good morning, folks. Morning. Here we go. Morning, Steve, Ricky, Brian, James, David. Morning, David. Morning, Lillian. For some reason that stopped moving. Morning, Kirsty. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Lenny. Morning, Robert. Karen. Ian. Susie. And we've got a request to join this morning. Oh, should we have a guest on the show this morning, folks? Should we? If I'm going to do that, I'm going to put earpods on. I don't normally have guests on. We'll see. If the request stays there, maybe add them a wee bit into the report. Okay. Good morning, folks. Indytruck, Davy, out the truck, and at home, in his office, is Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it is partly cloudy and lovely and warm at 14 degrees dry. Okay, so that's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what the weather's like where you are? Look at your own bloody windy. Alright, let's get this review underway. Alright, this is a review of the weekend's news, the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th of June 2022. And as you can imagine, there was not a lot of news out there, folks, but we'll scrape something together, okay? Right, Friday was day 2 of the Jubilee long weekend to celebrate the Duchess of Balmoral's 70th year as Queen of England. The rags are all on the Jubilee, with the exception of the national and some of the local rags, alright? Now this was a perfect example of a propaganda and brainwashing exercise. 76% of the people of Scotland ignored the Jubilee, and very few events were taking place. Whole events and organised events, there wasn't many, and the ones that were being staged, a good few of them had to be cancelled due to lack of interest. Alright, so here in Scotland we had the rags all on Jubilee, we had the mainstream media, meaning television and radio, all on Jubilee, yet we had the people with their eyes firmly fixed on everything but the Jubilee. So as I say, it was an absolute exercise in propaganda and brainwashing, because nobody here in Scotland was bloody well interested. I mean, here in North Lanarkshire, 2 men and a dog showed up at Strathclyde Park to watch the beacon being lit. The beacons that were being lit right across Scotland to celebrate the Jubilee. In fact, it was the same everywhere. Alright, Perth, big screen TVs put out, beacon lit, nobody. Aberdeen, nobody. Nobody was interested. But yet here we have the mainstream media gone bananas, the Duchess of Balmoral's 70th year on the throne in England. The press and the mainstream media would have you all believe Scotland, like Little England, was celebrating an archaic system of governments where a select few believe they are above the rest of us and are born to rule over us. Right? It's the very reason the class system exists down that road and prevails to this day down that road. Right? And it shadows over any possibility of the modernisation of our systems here in Scotland. It's one of the reasons why we have to get rid of the Crown and we have to become independent. You know, the BB in Scotland was the worst. Apparently we all love and respect the Duchess of Balmoral. Wow. Yeah, we have the Glasgow think tank and the London School of Economics think tanks own monarchy in a modern UK. Make it quite clear that Scotland has Republican tendencies. 56% of Scots have absolutely no interest in monarchy. 56% of Scots believe we should get rid of the monarchy. And yet here we have it all the other bloody place as if it was for real. And see, that's the reason why the class system down that road prevails. Because down that road, the serfs have been programmed to actually believe that there are better human beings than them. Right, moving on, Friday here in Scotland. The other main headlines has Lizzie's serfs in a tizzy. SNP stroke Green Scottish Government have set to one side in the spending review £20 million to cover the cost of Indytruck 2. And the chief Tory serf, Douglas Ross, or Dross to you and me, is apoplectic. Ye can't have Indytruck 2 because my party's created a cost of living crisis, chief Tory serf Dross says. Right? So, you can't spend, according to chief Tory serf and peasant Dross, you can't spend 20 million quid on a democratic decision, which was already voted for by the majority of the population of Scotland, but you can spend £1 billion tugging your forelock to the Duchess of bloody Balmoral, while 4.3 million kids live in abject poverty and go to bed hungry. So, 20 million for a democratic process which has already been approved by the people is no, but £1 billion pissed up against the wall, celebrating an old woman sitting in a gold fucking chair, while 4.3 million children go fucking hungry is alright, is it, Dross? That's why you're a fucking serf. Hey, you're the other chief serf of the other cuckoo in the nest party, Sarwar. Well, Sarwar, he's one of these people that actually believes he was born into the world to lead us. You see it in his arrogant statements, but more importantly, you see it in the way he treats his own staff at his family business. They're treated like feckin' serfs and no worthy of the living wage. Wow. £1 billion to celebrate the Duchess of Balmoral being 70 years on the throne of England. 4.3 million kids go fucking hungry. And up here we've got forelock tuggers telling us we can't spend 20 million on a referendum, a democratic decision which has already been made by the people to have that referendum. You couldn't make this piss up only in Scotland. Anyway, let's move on. Friday, there was a debate on the monarchy in the Scottish Parliament. The SNP and 3 cuckoos in the nest attend. The Greens walk out. The party that claims to be the People's Party, the Red Tories, they show their subjugation to the state by staying. Oh, how the Labour movement has fallen here in Scotland. The once People Party, you know, the party that was once of equality and were all Jock Tamson's bairns. Yeah. Well, they didn't get up and fucking walk out, did they? No. It would appear that the Greens are the Republican Party here in Scotland now. Right, moving on. Friday, and the Train Drivers Union ASLEF say that they have had a positive negotiation with ScotRail, and it is hoped that the dispute over pay and conditions could be ended this week. Talks resume today, the 6th. Okie dokie. Right, that's what we've got for Friday, because there isn't much in the news, as you'll be well aware. Let's move on to Saturday. Saturday started with mere Jubilee pish dominating the rags and the television channels. The rags go on, thanks for 70 years of service. English publications in Scotland. The Scottish rags here have a mixed bag. The National asks why the monarchy is still a thing in 2022. I have to agree that that's a question all of us who believe all men, women, whatever you want to call yourself, are born equal. So we should all be asking that question. Why do these clowns doing that road merit £1 billion, big celebrations, big crusades and everything, if we're all supposed to be Jock Tamson's bairns? Surely all Lizzie should be living in the council house in the corner, or at least paying their own fecking bills. Alright, the IHAS Johnson, he tells his MPs that unless they keep him on as leader, they will lose the next general election. Who cares? It's England. England will, the little Englanders, a couple of years' time, they've got memories like that, they've got short memories. The Tories have been inflicting pain on the serfs down that road for that long that they lap it up. The sensible ones move up here. Wow. The Herald ignores the Jubilee and warns of strike action because of cuts in public services and the layoff of a potential 30,000 public sector workers. Alright, the Scotsman says more travel chaos and bus services this time. Apparently, when the extra money that's been given to bus companies because of the pandemic runs out, then there'll be slashing of bus services right across Scotland. Because let's face it, wages have went up, fuel prices have went up, they've got to modernise their fleet because of these new low emission zones in the biggest cities in Scotland. So, according to the Scotsman, there's going to be more travel chaos to be piled on top of the airplanes and trains. You ever get the feeling this place is an effing disaster? And I don't mean Scotland, I mean the UK, because it's being led for the House of Thieves and carpetbaggers. All that Parliament along that road's doing is mitigating this pish. Right, they all accept the BBC cover Bojo getting booed as he attends Jubilee service and Jubilee events. Alright, now this started on Saturday at St Paul's Cathedral, or was it St Mark's? I can't remember, I wasn't watching. Anyway, the crowds were booing Bojo as he arrived. That went on right across the weekend as he arrived at events. Last night, apparently, the closing of the concert that closed the Jubilee, he was booed as he made his way to his seat there as well. Okay. Right, moving on. Saturday, travel chaos at airports as same people, mainly Republicans, in the UK attempt to flee the Jubilee weekend. Airports are at a standstill due to staff shortages created by Brexit. Jet2 boss Steve Heatley tells UK government the problem was created by Brexit and the ending of free movement. He also tells the UK government applicants for jobs, UK applicants for jobs are lazy and won't even turn up for interviews. Now he wants special visas made available to hire European staff. So apparently, according to Steve Heatley, the boss of Jet2, the boss of Jet2, they can't hire UK staff because, well, they're hopeless. They don't show up for interviews, and they don't want the bloody jobs to start with, alright? Right, moving on, Saturday, and speculation over Bojo's future deepens. It's speculated that the 54 letters required to bring a vote of no confidence are in. A poll out also shows Labour now 18 points ahead in the polls. Another poll shows the Tories will lose the Wakefield by-election on the 23rd of June, this month. Right? Throw in the public in London booing Johnson, booing Bojo everywhere he goes. You can imagine that the Tory MPs of the weekend will be looking at it and saying, oofed. Oofed. Alright. So there we have it. Right, it's also reported on Saturday that the firefighters at airports are being used to load staff onto planes. To load luggage onto planes because of bag handling staff shortage. These jobs were normally done by Eastern Europeans. Alright. Right, so that's Saturday for you in a nutshell. Okay, let's move on to Sunday. Tell you, I don't have a lot for you. Sunday, the Rags run on the Queen / Duchess of Balmoral having a tea party with Paddington Bear. It's revealed that the Duchess of Balmoral likes marmalade sandwiches and carries one in her handbag, alright? Now what Paddington didn't know was he was there to visit the Queen prior to being put on a plane to Rwanda. He's an illegal immigrant. Ah, poor Paddington. Ah, well. Right, other headlines in the Rags. The public spurn the Tories over Johnson's lies. The Eye says women in Scotland have to travel to England for late-stage abortions as health boards in Scotland struggle to cope. I guess women have decided that Brexit, UK and the cost of living crisis means it's not at the right time to bring children into the world. That's serious. We need our young people to be out there copulating for Scotland. We've got an ageing population. We need a workforce. And it's just been cut halfways by Brexit. So young people, get out there and get copulating for Scotland. Right, the right-wing loony rag, the Mail claims a Abellio are still running ScotRail, even though it was nationalised in April 2022. Right, moving on. Sunday, it's reported in the Sunday Post that airport fire staff, there we go, the story for Saturday, are being used to load luggage onto planes, and a staff shortage crisis, which goes back to what the boss of Jet2's told the government. You created this with Brexit, you ended free movement of people, and now we can't get anybody to work in the bloody airports. Also Sunday, Bojo's woes deepen as he is booed at concert to close Jubilee celebration. So that's Sunday, and the Jubilee's over, hopefully. Normal propaganda services will resume today, Monday. So they're bugging all. I mean, absolutely nothing in the press. Right, let's see who's asking to join us. James W. Campbell. Come on in for a minute, James, and then we'll kick you back out again. Right, let's see if James can go on and see what James wants to say for himself. Pick a pod. No, doesn't look like James is making it on. Maybe he's not got the bandwidth. But let's hope you can still hear me with this bloody thing in. If you can still hear me, give me a thumbs up, will you? Thumbs up, somebody? Thank you. Aye, right. So, it would appear that James isn't getting through.
Well, here he comes. All right, boss.
Oh, hello, how you doing?
Not bad.
How's things with you, Dave?
I'm fine, thanks. The Jubilee's there. I mean, I don't watch television anyway, but the shite has been in the press over the weekend.
Oh, it's been terrible, eh? Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, hopefully Boris gets his books 9 o'clock tonight.
Oh, is that been announced that the vote's on, is it?
Well, the vote will be done. They said the announcement should be about 9 tonight, so...
On whether there's going to be
but
a vote?
BBC are doing the usual, you know, they're going around and asking everyone and their mother outside the Parliament building who they're going to vote for. I mean, they know that majority of the public are against Bojo.
Well, with the fear, you're absolutely right. Live PM faces confidence vote today after MPs trigger ballot. That's part of the news I've been waiting on coming in, James. Obviously, I'll cover that tomorrow. We need in a review programme, you know.
But, I mean, come on, let's face it. I mean, Jeremy Hunt's come out. He's been at the head of all the interviews about Partygate, and you know, he's involved in all of the sort of inquests, I would have thought you'd say. I mean, he's the one that's come out and said he's not voting for Boris. But Rishi Sunak, they come out and say they're going to vote for Boris. But Sunak will be the one.
I mean, I could have covered some of the muppets that were rolled out over the weekend to support Boris, like the Deputy Prime Minister yesterday, who made an absolute arse of himself, and then says, right, come on, that committee's sitting. If that committee finds he misled Parliament, then he's got to go. You know? So, voting no confidence tonight doesn't mean he's going to lose. If he wins, he'll still be in place for the next 12 months. You know?
Yeah, that's it. No one can touch him for 12 months. I mean, he could basically do anything.
Maybe this committee could still touch him, I don't know. But what we do know is that the Tory party would need to change the rules to get shot at him. I don't know how quickly that could be done.
But, I mean, none of his cabinet are going to come out and say we're going to vote against him. I mean, even if they do it in private, I mean, it's a private vote, so half his cabinet, or all of his cabinet, especially his deputy, could put the knife in. As you say, it's the night of long knives, isn't it?
It is the night of long knives. And now that it's on, Davy will be glued to the press, James. You see what's happening? But James, thanks for popping in, but we're going to have to cut it here because the show's getting on the 35 minutes.
Aye, no bother, mate.
No, I didn't start at 15:15. All right, we're only 20 minutes in.
I was going to say stick to your half hour.
Aye, I am going to stick to half hours, mate. I am. So I'll get 10 minutes to clear up. So clear off.
How's your new job going, mate? All right.
Aye, it's all right, mate. There's nothing better than getting paid full-time hours today, part-time work.
Aye.
Yesterday, started at 6, back in the house at 24 minutes past 8. I mean, argue with that, you know.
Well, hope to see you at the next March. I missed you.
Aye.
I got COVID. The bloody one time I was going to see you in Arbroath, man, and I got COVID. Listen,
Shut up.
2 years without COVID in Scotland. Nipped down to Haggerston Park for 24 hours and I catch COVID. Ridiculous.
Way it goes. No, I've been touch wood. I've been lucky so far. I've been lucky.
Out of Scotland for 24 hours and I catch it. Jesus.
I know. You know, that's what happens when you leave God's country. That's why I've got a passport.
This
Can't
is it.
call it God's country because I'm a fucking atheist.
That's what they say. You see what they say? I'm from Inverness. Well, I'm from Dingwall. And they say people from Inverness speak the Queen's English. But, God, I've never heard the Queen speak like me.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Right, man. Cheers
Right,
for everything.
Catch you later.
Hey, listen, thanks for doing all you do.
Hey, listen, it's fun. It's fun. You
Aye.
know, and I've got more time for the research now, so that's better. You know.
You're good. Say hello to the dragon for me.
I would, but she's away to work.
See you later, pal.
Right, see you later, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. Right, let's go on to this morning and see what the rags have got to say this morning, shall we, folks? If James can find his way out, because I can't find my other to check him out, so he'll need to find his own. But there you're there. Up there. Hit that button.
Okay, he's away. Bye. Right, let's go on this morning and see what the rags have got to say, will we? See if there's any cure to this Jubilee push this morning. The Scotsman has humbled and touched. Apparently the Queen was humbled and touched by £1 billion being spent on her. The Metro has a magical joy as the Queen appears in Palace balcony for last day of festivities. And there's also reference made to the Irish tricolour being used in the closing event to represent Northern Ireland. I believe they've got some astronauts up at the moment trying to grab Sammy Wilson's cranium back down through outer space again. You know, as the people, as the unionists of Northern Ireland go after chump, pure, an absolute sign that Northern Ireland's on its way. Right, the Daily Fail has a magnificent celebration, climax and pageantry and parties for millions. The Queen's poignant message to her nation. My heart has been with you all. She must have been talking to England because you know we don't give a shite about her up here. The Duchess of Balmoral's about as popular as a fart in an elevator. And that's blown out with the Looney Rag Daily Express's poll yesterday, where it was actually 78% of the Daily Express's readers, who are all unionists, they weren't celebrating the Jubilee either. So unionists in Scotland weren't celebrating the Crown either. Right, anyway, according to the Looney Rag Express, the Duchess's heart has been with us all. Aye, so it is. That's why she's got that big fancy houses. She's got billions and billions in assets, and her subjects, her serfs in Little England and wider through the colonies are gone bloody hungry. Her Hertzway is all my arse. The Tory graph has, while I may not have attended every event in person, my heart has been with you all. You see, I came to Scotland and there was only about 2 events. She managed to get around them. The Times has, Queen's balcony message, this is the future of our monarchy. And it's got a picture of the motley crew. Charles and Camilla, the Duchess herself, Big Ears Mark II, Baldy Big Ears, that one, and his brood, as well as his commoner wife, Kate Middleton. Hey, what else have we got? The Herald has. The Herald's just that's half the Jubilee. Its main headline is nursing staff shortages are posing a risk to patient care. Well, you know, we've just shut off access to all those people in the single market and the customs union in 27 countries. So recruitment is now a bigger problem than what it was before. And more misery for train travellers after ScotRail cancels further 50 services. let's hope they get agreement with the train drivers union today. The Daily Record, that's after the Jubilee and all. That's exclusive Death House revelations, secret of Tobin's lair, forensic experts reveal grim find under monastery rockery. So, and the eye has vote on Johnson's future turning toxic for Tories. Now, as James has just come on and told me, and I've just had a look, that vote of no confidence will take place this evening. Will Bojo survive? You can bet your boots his cabinet ministers are spinning round Parliament today, trying to convince as many Tory MPs not to vote Bojo out of office. Right, the National has FM tears apart, claim it's the wrong time for Indy. And top Brexiteer admits that the Tories got it wrong. They should have stayed in the single market. And that's Lord Hanna, who is a Brexiteer, saying the Tories have got it wrong, should have stayed in the single market and the customs union. Right, what's the Star got for us a day? The Star has, if I can find the bloody thing, would you believe it? The party is over already. Plat's all, folks. So, Jubilee again. So, let's hope we get back to ordinary business now and the propaganda gets back to the real shit. It's much easier to skirt round the crap that's in the press when there's some facts there to be played with. But when there's nothing but wall-to-wall privilege and pageantry of people who think they were born to leaders and people who think they are not of us. They are of a different species, a different race. They are our betters. Then, you know, time to get rid of the monarchy. People would think like that. And there was a perfect picture of it in one of the papers yesterday with Will and Kate's children looking out the balcony and looking down their nose at those who were in front of them, screaming and shouting and cheering and waving wee Union Jacks. And there's these three sprogs looking out the balcony as if to say, hello, serfs. Yeah, their wee noses turned up as if to say, the masses stink. Right, anyway, that's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. A wee rant in there and all just to keep you all happy. So, remember, folks, we don't have any elections coming up. So, partisan politics in your pockets. Learn your how-you-gonies. Get out there and win hearts and minds. Eyes on the prize going forward. Alright, I see Mr. Salmon was given some airtime over the weekend and ought to claim that the Alpha Party will be marching on going forward. Good. I don't want people to get at the wrong angle here. At this point in time, the Alpha Party are a non-entity with no elected representatives except for two that walk the floor, and their electoral prospects don't look good. But the more voices that can be heard in our democracy, the better. Unfortunately for the Alpha Party, they're just shouting for the sidelines at the moment, and some of them are an absolute pain in the arse, but that's beside the point. Stick it to Alpha Party, see you in 30 years when you get your first councillor. Okay, so partisan politics in your pockets, eyes on the prize, get out there and win hearts and minds. Okay, support the independent media, support Broadcasting Scotland, Independence Live, Calgon Media, you know the guys, the independent vloggers and bloggers. If they've got a crowdfunder gone, throw a few shekels in the pot. David and I don't want your money. What we do want is your subscription to our YouTube channel so that we can get more facilities opened on YouTube. So if you're watching my videos, pop into YouTube, the two Davies, and give us a like and subscribe while you're up, because we need to get 1,000 to open the channel up to allow us to go live for YouTube and things like that. Okie dokie. Right, and health messaging, face coverings in closed public spaces, that's the guidance. Clean hands and surfaces regularly. Use your napper when it comes to social distance. You've just heard James has recently had COVID. Okay. And if you're still testing, submit your test results to NHS Scotland so we can keep an eye on how much of this is out in the community. You guys have a nice day. Davy's going to go on with some domestic chores that Sarah has left for me to get on with prior to going to work tonight. I'm also going to go and monitor the news channels and start scribbling up tomorrow's report. We're back tomorrow. You guys have a nice day. Look after yourselves.